and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I've been overwhelmed with the response that I've had from my video. I've learned that I have a lisp. I apologise now for not uploading more videos. Unfortunately, I have suffered with severe depression over the last couple of months. Basically, I tried to cut my medication. I was on 100 milligrams a day, and I was on 150 milligrams a day, and I managed to get down to 50 milligrams. I was taking one tablet every other day, so really about 25 milligrams a day, if you would call it that. I did all this through my doctor's advice, and if you are suffering from any depression, anxiety, then this is only my advice, my own tips for depression and anxiety. I'm not a qualified psychiatrist or therapist or anything in that field. I am a care assistant. I don't specialise in this, but I just want to share with you and hopefully relax you by talking through how to cope day to day, how to incorporate different things into your day that you may not think of when you're in that frame of mind. So I'm going to start by lighting my favourite candle. This is a Yankee candle, vanilla frosting, and can you see here a picture of cake, nice picture of cake with vanilla frosting, and you can see that this is quite a well used candle. I love the smell. You can almost taste you can almost taste cake as you're smelling. I would like to start today by tip number 1. First, I have a cup of tea. Okay. My tip number 1 is to look after yourself. All my tips for anxiety and depression, and I wrote these when I was feeling at my lowest. I managed to wake up early one morning and I thought, yeah, today I'm going to write down the list of everything that will make me feel better and that I have been told and ignored. And I'm not saying that I was better that day. Of course, every day is different, but I felt happy in the fact that I had these in my mind, and reading them on paper reassured me that there are things that I can do to help. So, look after yourself. And I wrote here, explain to friends and family that you can't deal with their problems before yours. Now, of course, if there's a really big problem, I'm not saying completely ignore them. No, not at all. But if you know somebody who is quite prone to feeling a bit low, just without being horrible, just tell them, look, I'm not feeling myself. I need your help. I need you to support me. I support you. I'm happy to support you. But I need you to be there for me. I need to look after myself. Because if you're taking on other people's problems, then it piles on top of your own. So your problem could be you're upset because you were 5 minutes late to work and your manager told you off. But that could be a really big thing to you that day. I know that was my thing, like little tiny things would become stepping stones in my head to a big problem. And I had to allow myself time and energy to focus on how to stop myself feeling like that. And I noticed as soon as I told my friends, my family, I'm feeling like this over these things, please just let me sort this out, then they were very understanding, and some people could even relate, and that helped a lot. And they didn't mind that I was honest with them and told them, look, I just need to be a bit selfish at the moment to look after myself. And you know what? This evening I took my friend out to dinner because she was upset. And when she was texting me, I felt a bit overwhelmed because it's quite hard to deal with people's, I say, negativity when I was just sat at home and she texted me her problems and I said, look, I'm here for you, which of course I was, but I know that I had to be there for her because she's there for me when I'm upset. And I said to her, come out, I'll take you out for dinner. And we went out, had a really nice evening, and I just listened to her and I was there for her. I wasn't her therapist. I couldn't advise her on everything, but the fact that she knew that I was there, she is happy now. And I feel like just by giving somebody that time, you can help them a lot. They know that there's someone there and you change their mindset if it's just for that evening. You can do that for yourself as well by telling people around you about your problems and asking people to be there if need be. I mean, not everyone's going to be able to relate to something if you don't tell them how you're feeling. That can be really hard sometimes, but I strongly suggest that. Okay. My next tip is to tell yourself this won't be forever. By doing this, I think some days, or it can be weeks, you might just feel really bad, and by telling yourself tomorrow is a different day, or even you can feel different in the same day, I suppose. I mean, you can wake up and feel really bad and then something could happen that lifts your spirits and makes you feel better. But on my behalf, I took holiday from work because I just wanted time to relax, and I had time to overthink, and I was so bored and I had nothing to distract me, and going back to work was the best thing. I was dreading it. I was scared because I got used to being able to just sleep if I needed to. But I tell myself now, when I'm having a bad day, is it because I'm not doing that much? And sometimes it is just that. And I know with depression, one of the biggest things is to find motivation. So day-to-day activities just seem so far-fetched, seem so impossible that but doing them is exhausting. But the thought of doing them is exhausting, but sometimes when you actually go out and you make yourself do that, then you feel better. Like going to work and having to talk to people and having to socialise with people, just going down the shop makes you human. It's not natural to stay inside all the time and not see anyone and resort going to sleep if you're bored all the time, and it's just not natural, no. So, my next tip is to sleep, and that's not saying, like I just said then, I'm not trying to contradict myself, I'm saying sleep is very important for your body to function, and if you try to get 8 hours sleep a night, that's recommended. And I think it changes all the time, but I'm sure it's 8 hours. And yeah, so give yourself a good bedtime routine. I know that it's nice to have a nice hot shower or bath and then blow dry your hair, or even just towel dry it and watch TV for a while, or read a book till you're tired, and then I don't know how you do it. I put my iPad on my laptop and watch my ASMR video to go to sleep. Okay. My next tip is to exercise, whether this is walking, running, cycling, going to the gym. It's so good to just get those endorphins and feel really good. They're the happy hormones, and you can listen to your favourite music and completely switch off if you feel really upset. I know I've tragically put on my Beyonce and ran. Just get it all out there, and you should feel better. Of course, you have to have a lot of willpower to get up and go sometimes, because the sofa seems really comfortable, but the sofa will always be comfortable. You can go out half an hour, come back, get into your bedtime routine, like I said, have your hot bath or your shower after your workout, and then you should hopefully feel better. My next tip is to give yourself a routine. So by this I mean really, really specifically plan what you're going to have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and this helped me when I felt terrible, because I was struggling to get up for anything, and my day would just become one blur, and there would be times where I could just sit down for hours and stare and stare and stare and not do anything, whereas I knew if I had times for my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, I knew, oh, well, that gives me something to do that in that time. And yeah, you may not have an appetite, but if you eat a good meal, or you at least make something, even if it's just toast in the morning, you will hopefully feel better in your mind, especially if you're eating a good balanced diet. it will make you feel better. My next tip is to make your home look nice and feel homely and cosy, have your favourite things around. It's really lovely to get a frame. You can buy a frame, I'm saying a frame. I have a heart frame and it's got lots of different sections in it. I have all my favourite things. Me and my boyfriend, my friends, my hamster, and this is play. So when I wake up, right in front of me on the wall. So it just gives you something nice to look at. You wake up and it's a reason to be like, oh, it's not that bad. And I don't know if you have any children or pets, but they're cute and it's nice to look at something that makes you feel warm and fuzzy. This is really good for remembering that you have people in your life that you care about, and even if it's just a pet, they rely on you, and I'm sure that they love you as well. It's good to have different things around, like if you have a bookshelf, then fill it with not just your favourite books, but you can buy unusual ornaments to put in there, something quirky that you like or that means something to you. I have an elephant in my it's in my window actually. I bought it for my bookshelf, but it's actually in my bedroom window at the moment, and I just fell in love with it. It was very overpriced, but it's just something that's sweet, and I look at it and it makes me happy. And I'm sure even if you buy a vase and buy flowers or pick flowers outside and put them in there, something nice to look at and it makes it homely. Have some more tea. Okay. So my next tip is to watch your pets and imagine what they are thinking. Now, this may sound really bizarre to you, but it helps a lot. It goes back to the planning your meals, planning your routine and things like that. I think it helps you to connect with nature, and you see animals just get on with it. And I have hamsters and I watch them and they get up and they exercise, they socialise with each other, the little ones. Then Ariana is by herself, because I'm sure that by socialising, that would mean eating the other hamster or fighting. So yeah, the little ones, and they socialise with each other and they do what they have to do. They eat their food, they play, they wash, they sleep, and really that's what humans do as well, really. I mean, yeah, we may feel more, we have emotions for others and stuff, but if you just watch them, they're so careless and they don't carry all this anxiety like we do. They don't dwell over their meal times, and it's just nice, really, to see something so carefree, and they look happy. They're not worrying about stuff, they're just living and getting on with what they have to do, and they can come out and explore. And I try to make things nice for them by hiding little treats around for them. So, yeah, and it can be very good therapy as well for you to watch them. It's relaxing. If you have a dog or a cat, then they can be a lot easier to cuddle. I know that I'm very blessed to have such tame hamsters, and they will come out for cuddles and sit on me. Okay, so my last tip, oh, not my last. Do I have a few more? Okay. If a problem is in your head and it's spiraling and it keeps coming back, it's because you haven't dealt with it yet. If you deal with that problem, hopefully it will stop. It should stop if you tackle it and you deal with it. This is easier said than done sometimes. If it's a problem involving somebody else, then speak to them and ask them that if it's a conflict, what have I done to upset you? And really listen to their side. If you need to write things down to help you, then that's okay. But the worst thing to do if somebody is upset is to annoy them by trying to argue your point and coming across like you're aggressive or you're really angry, because that, in my experience, aggravates them, and it would just prolong the problem. It's nice to have a calm approach and to take responsibility. If somebody's upset, it's from both sides. I'm sorry, but if they're upset, they obviously have misunderstood in the first place, so you can explain, or you have done something that you shouldn't have done that needs to be apologised for, and it's really hard. But take responsibility and really try to see what you've done. I know it can be very, very difficult to do that, and especially if they're not admitting that they've done wrong, but it's going to keep on in your head otherwise. And if they are really horrible people, don't need them anyway. So just try to resolve it. If it's too hard at the time, take a step back. But at least you've tried to deal with that in your mind. Okay. My next step is to make yourself pretty. So this doesn't mean going out and buying a whole new wardrobe and new cosmetics or whatever, but just do something that makes you feel confident, even if it's just wearing a new scarf, or you could buy a new lip gloss or new mascara. If you're a guy, do your hair differently, or buy a new hat, new shoes, whatever it is that makes you feel like you. Don't feel like just because you feel bad, you have to not wear makeup. You don't. Well, not that you don't have to wear makeup, but I mean, if you do wear makeup every day and then you apply your makeup that morning, it just helps to make you feel like you and bring back your personality a bit. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm rambling. Okay, so my next step is to just start very small and give yourself tasks to do every day. So if you have a great big pile of laundry and you just can't face it, ignore that, but do something you can face. So if you have a big pile of laundry, put the white load of laundry on, or the coloured load of laundry on, so you're sorting one thing out and then you told yourself, I'm going to do this today. And when you do that and those clothes are dry and you look at it again and you have less laundry, at least you've done something. You haven't just looked at it and gone, oh, and gone back to bed or whatever. You've done something, and it might inspire you to do more. You don't know. Like, sometimes when you don't feel like doing something and you go and do it, for example, exercise, then you can be surprised at how much more energy you'll have and how little things like tidying and stuff just comes naturally, and you come in and you do it. Whereas if you're sat down moping around thinking, oh, then you're less likely to even want to think about doing it. So I will finish on listen to your favourite podcast in the bath or shower. I would say the bath if you have a bath. This is good because it helps you to relax, but it quietens the sound of your mind if you have racing thoughts. It gives you something to focus on. And there's tons of podcasts on the iTunes store. If you're in England, you have BBC Radio, and you can catch up with different shows. I'm sure in any country you have similar things, and you can just listen to that on demand. So you're never stuck for listening to what it is that you're interested in. I like listening to something called The Surgery on Radio 1, and this is a help show. So people, it's like an agony aunt sort of show, and you can call in and they have doctors there and sometimes psychiatrists and different things, and they will talk about mental health, and people will call in with their problems and how they're feeling. And it's quite nice because not only can I relate to these people, it helps with different scenarios. So somebody could be upset about their family, and my friends when they go through that situation, or if I go through that situation, I'm more clued up to what to say to them. So it just broadens your aspect on other people's problems and helps you to get that experience and listen to other people's problems to help others and yourself. It's hard to explain. But yeah, I just relax and I completely switch off to that, and afterwards I feel happy and I can go and get into my pyjamas, read a book, watch my ASMR, and I'm just done. So that is all I have to say today. I plan to make more videos. I'm sorry that I've put my videos off for so long, but I hope that now you understand why, and I hope that this video helps you. Thank you again so much for subscribing, commenting, and so grateful. And thank you other ASM artists to thank you for helping me sleep and getting me through anxiety and depression on a daily basis.